All right, hello and welcome. If you're cramming for your next big exam or you're just, fascinated by how the human body works, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're diving into the vascular system with a super high yield guide. We're going to cover everything from the heart's incredible pump to how our bodies actually build this whole complex network. Okay, let's get into it. First off, just look at this thing. The sheer scale of it is mind-blowing. This isn't just a few pipes. It's a massive, unbelievably intricate superhighway network running inside of you. Every single cell in your body is counting on this network to get oxygen, to get nutrients, and to have its waste hauled away. It is, no joke, one of the most incredible feats of biological engineering. So at the very center of this superhighway, you've got the engine, the heart. And to really get a grip on the vascular system, we have to start right here. So what we're going to do is trace the exact route that a single drop of blood takes on its journey through the heart. This is about as fundamental as it gets. So let's make sure we nail this down. Okay, so this slide breaks down the heart's two-pump system perfectly. Let's follow the blood. So deoxygenated blood, that's the blue stuff, comes in from the body into the right atrium. It goes through a one-way door, the tricuspid valve, into the right ventricle. Then, whoosh, it gets pumped out to the lungs to pick up oxygen. Once it's all oxygenated, it comes back to the left atrium, goes through another valve, the bicuspid, into the super powerful left ventricle, and then boom, it's pumped out through the aorta to the entire body. So, simple way to remember, right side is for the lungs, left side is for the body. It's an elegant and absolutely essential circuit. So, we've got our pump, but what about the roads themselves, right? How is this whole highway system even built and maintained? Now, this next part is absolutely crucial, especially for your exams, because it covers the three key processes for how we make blood vessels. So let's break down these angiogenesis terms. First up, we have vasculogenesis. The key phrase you have to remember here is de novo. It basically means from scratch. This is the absolute beginning, the process that happens way back when you're an embryo, where the very first blood vessels are created from these little precursor cells. This is literally the blueprint of our circulatory system getting laid down for the first time. Okay, next is angiogenesis. Now, this is different. This is not building from scratch. This is all about expanding the network that's already there. Angiogenesis is when new vessels literally sprout from old ones. The analogy is perfect. Think of a city building new neighborhood streets off of a main road that already exists. This happens all the time, when you're healing from a cut, or even when your body adapts to high altitudes and needs more vessels to grab that scarce oxygen.
And what you can see so clearly here is that angiogenesis isn't just a random event. Not at all. It is a highly controlled, multi-step cascade. It all kicks off with growth factors, and that triggers this whole chain reaction. Cells get activated, they start moving, they form little tubes, and finally, that new vessel gets stabilized. It really is a complex and beautiful biological dance.
And finally, we have arteriogenesis. The critical difference here, this isn't about making new vessels. It's all about improving the ones we've already got. It's the remodeling and widening of existing arteries. So if vasculogenesis is building the very first roads and angiogenesis is adding side streets, then arteriogenesis is like upgrading a 2-lane highway into a massive 8-lane superhighway to handle way more traffic. Okay, so we've got the pump, and we know how the roads are built, but how does the body decide where to actually send the blood? This system is incredibly smart and dynamic. Let's take a look at how this constantly shifting distribution network actually works. Just look at the difference between these two. It's wild. On the left, that's you at rest. A good chunk of blood is going to your gut, your kidneys, your brain. But on the right, when you're exercising hard, the whole picture flips. Blood is massively rerouted away from those abdominal organs, and it's shunted to where it's needed most, your skeletal muscles. I mean, they start getting a staggering 80 to 85% of all your blood flow. And to really put that in perspective, think about the total output from your heart. At rest, your heart is pumping maybe 5 liters of blood a minute. But during intense exercise, that can jump 5 times, all the way up to a massive 25 liters per minute. The system doesn't just pump more blood everywhere. It strategically sends a much larger volume to very specific places. So where is all this blood when you're just sitting here? You might think it's mostly in your arteries, rushing somewhere. But here's the crazy truth. At any given moment, about 60% of your total blood volume is just hanging out in your veins. They basically act as this huge blood reservoir, just waiting, ready to be called into action when your body needs it. Wow, Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, from the chambers of the heart to the tiniest capillaries. So, let's do a really quick, rapid-fire review of the absolute must-know points from all this. Think of this as your vascular system cheat sheet. All right, let's lock it in. The path of blood: right heart to the lungs to get oxygen, then over to the left heart and out to the body. Got it. The three Genesis terms. Vasculogenesis is building from scratch in the embryo. Angiogenesis is sprouting new vessels from old ones. And arteriogenesis is widening the big arteries. Also, don't forget, your veins are a massive blood reservoir, holding about 60% of your blood at rest. And finally, remember that blood flow is totally dynamic. It's always being rerouted based on what your body needs. So let me just leave you with one final thought to chew on. We've seen how a process like angiogenesis is absolutely essential for healthy things like healing. But what happens when that process gets hijacked? This whole system is designed for growth and repair. So how can something so vital be turned against us to fuel devastating diseases like cancer? It's one of the most critical questions in medicine today, and it all starts with understanding these fundamentals we just went over.